come a time in your life when you realize the painful truth. No one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not society. You were born alone, and you will die alone. And in between, if you lean too much on others, if you crave their validation, their approval, their presence, you will remain a prisoner of your own weakness. But there is another way, a path that only the strong dare to walk, a way of thinking that frees you from the shackles of need, from the poison of dependency. This path is called Stoicism, and once you understand its power, you will never need anyone again, not in the way you used to. Today, we will explore the 6 Stoic lessons that will turn you into an unshakable force. A person who stands tall, even when the world tries to break them. A person who does not need, but who chooses. Because strength is not found in needing others. Strength is found in mastering yourself. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Number 1. The art of indifference, embracing true freedom. Most people live as slaves to the opinions of others. They walk on eggshells, terrified of disapproval, addicted to validation. They measure their worth by external praise, and when it vanishes, so does their confidence. But the Stoic is different. The Stoic understands that true freedom comes from indifference. Indifference, not in the sense of apathy, but in the sense of detachment. Detachment from what is beyond their control. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." And what is more beyond our control than the thoughts, judgments, and shifting loyalties of others? The man who builds his foundation on the shifting sands of external approval will collapse with every passing breeze. But the one who stands firm, who cares little for praise and even less for criticism, is untouchable. Consider the great Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius. Despite being the most powerful man in the world, he wrote in his meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Even with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, he understood that true power did not lie in armies, wealth, or reputation. It lay in mastery over his own mind. To stop needing people, you must first let go of your addiction to their opinions. Their words cannot define you. Their praise cannot elevate you. Their rejection cannot diminish you. And once you reach this state, something remarkable happens. You become immune to manipulation. No one can control you because you seek nothing from them. No approval, no validation, no comfort. You are free. Number 2. Mastering your emotions. The end of weakness. Emotions are a double-edged sword. In the hands of the weak, they are chains, binding them to misery, regret, and suffering. In the hands of the strong, they are tools, used with precision, never in excess. The Stoic does not suppress emotions, nor do they allow themselves to be ruled by them. Instead, they master them. Because a person controlled by their emotions is nothing more than a puppet, dancing to the chaotic whims of their own mind. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, wrote, "A raging emotion is like a flood that cannot be stopped, but it can be diverted before it becomes a disaster." The man who cannot control his anger is owned by it. The one who cannot temper his desires is a slave to them. And the one who lets fear dictate his actions will never taste true freedom. But the Stoic understands that emotions are not the enemy, lack of control is. Imagine standing in the midst of chaos while others panic, scream, and break down. But you remain calm, unshaken, focused. While others drown in their feelings, you navigate through them with precision, never letting them dictate your actions. This is what separates those who need from those who are. The weak seek comfort in others when their emotions overwhelm them. The Stoic stands alone, mastering himself. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." And in those words lies a profound truth. Nothing has power over you unless you allow it. The moment you learn to govern your emotions, the world loses its hold on you. You no longer need comfort, reassurance, or external stability, because true stability is within. Number 3, the power of self-sufficiency, becoming your own source. Most people fear solitude because they are hollow inside. They seek others not out of love but out of necessity, because without external stimulation, they are lost. They need constant validation, endless distractions, and the illusion of belonging. But the Stoic does not need. The Stoic is. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." And this is where true self-sufficiency begins, not in wealth, not in status, but in the ability to stand alone and be whole. A weak man without companionship is a lost soul. A strong man without companionship remains an unshakable force. Think of Diogenes, the great cynic who lived in a barrel, possessing nothing, needing nothing, and yet he was feared by kings. When Alexander the Great told him, "Ask anything of me, and I shall grant it," Diogenes simply replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." This is the mindset of the self-sufficient. A man who asks for nothing is a man who cannot be controlled. To reach this level, you must cut the roots of dependency within yourself. Ask yourself, if you were left alone, stripped of social ties, cut off from all external validation, who would you be? If the answer terrifies you, then you are not yet free. True self-sufficiency is not found in isolating yourself, but in ensuring that even in isolation, you remain whole. The moment you become your own source of strength, you will no longer need people, you will only choose them. And there is no greater power than that. Number 4, the strength of endurance, embracing hardship. Weak men avoid pain, strong men embrace it. The difference between the two is simple. One seeks comfort, the other seeks growth. And growth is never found in ease. It is forged in the fires of suffering, in the silent battles fought within, in the moments when no one is watching and no one is coming to save you. Epictetus, who was born a slave and later became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, knew this truth well. He wrote, "Difficulties are what show men what they are. Therefore, when a difficulty falls upon you, remember that God, like a trainer of wrestlers, has matched you with a rough opponent that you may become a conqueror." A man who has suffered and endured is a man who cannot be broken. The world will throw hardships at you. People will betray you. Life will strip away what you love. And if you are not prepared, you will crumble. But if you have trained yourself to expect hardship, to welcome it as a teacher rather than curse it as an enemy, then you will rise stronger each time. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the mindset of the unbreakable. The Stoic does not wish for an easy life. He does not beg for favorable circumstances. He looks at hardship and says, "Good, another chance to prove myself." Most people need others when they are suffering. They look for comfort, for someone to reassure them, to soften the weight of their burdens. But the Stoic? The Stoic carries his burdens alone because he knows that suffering is not the enemy, weakness is. And if you can learn to endure, truly endure, you will no longer need the world. The world will need you. Number 5, the death of desire. Liberating yourself from what? Desire is the root of all suffering. Not pain, not hardship, not failure, but desire. The endless craving for more, the constant reaching for things outside yourself. The weak man believes that happiness lies in what he does not yet have. He desires wealth, status, companionship, pleasure, thinking that once he attains these things, he will be complete. But this is a lie. A man who needs is a man who suffers. A man who desires is a man who is never at peace. Seneca warned against this when he wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." A person ruled by their desires will never know freedom, because even if they attain what they want, their hunger will not cease. It will only grow. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another takes its place. It is an endless cycle, a prison without walls. Look at those who chase pleasure endlessly. They drink, they consume, they indulge, and yet they are never satisfied. They are always reaching, always grasping, and the more they chase, the emptier they feel. This is why the Stoic abandons unnecessary desire, not because he rejects joy, but because he refuses to be a slave to it. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you see how few things you have to do to live a satisfying and reverent life? Just master the present moment. The Stoic does not chase what he does not have. He does not yearn for things outside his control. He finds contentment in what is, not in what could be. And because of this, he is never desperate, never needy. He is free. Once you kill desire, you kill need. And once you kill need, you kill suffering. The world will no longer have a hold on you. People will no longer have power over you, because you will stand whole, unshaken, with nothing to chase and nothing to lose. Number 6, the acceptance of fate, letting go of control. Control is an illusion. The weak man believes he can dictate how life unfolds. He clings to expectations, he resents misfortune, he fights against the inevitable, and in doing so, he suffers. But the Stoic surrenders, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom, because he understands that the only true control he has is over himself, his mind, his actions, his responses. Everything else is left to fate. Epictetus put it simply: make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Most people resist what is. They rage against reality, wasting their energy on things that cannot be changed. A Stoic does not waste such energy. He does not complain, he does not despair, he accepts, because he knows that fate will unfold as it must, regardless of his desires. And in that acceptance, he finds peace. Think of a man lost at sea. The waves crash, the storm rages, and he panics, because he wants control over the uncontrollable. But the wise man? He does not fight the storm. He adjusts his sails. He moves with the current, not against it. This is the way of the Stoic. He does not resist misfortune. He adapts. He does not fear loss. He embraces it as part of life. Marcus Aurelius captured this mindset when he wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny for what could more aptly fit your needs." This is the final step to needing no one, not because you reject people, but because you no longer rely on anything outside yourself. You move with life instead of resisting it. You do not cling to what is temporary. You stand firm and unshaken, ready for whatever comes. And once you reach this state, you are truly free. Because a man who accepts all things fears nothing, and a man who fears nothing needs no one. Conclusion: the path to ultimate freedom. You were born alone, you will die alone, and in between, the world will try to convince you that you need it, that without the approval of others, without companionship, without external validation, you are incomplete. But this is a lie. The truth is simple. You need nothing but mastery over yourself. Once you understand this, once you become this, you will step into a power that few ever attain. The weak man clings to others for security. He is driven by fear, ruled by emotion, trapped by desire. He resists hardship, seeks comfort, and drowns in his own expectations. And so he suffers. But the Stoic? The Stoic stands alone, not because he rejects people, but because he does not need them. He has conquered his emotions, mastered his desires, and accepted fate. He is indifferent to what he cannot control, self-sufficient in his solitude, and at peace with whatever comes. Seneca once wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." The journey to true freedom is not easy. It will demand discipline, sacrifice, and relentless self-reflection. It will require you to destroy every weakness, to sever every chain, to kill the part of you that still needs. But in return, you will gain something priceless, the ability to stand unshaken in a world of chaos. And so, the choice is yours. Continue seeking, continue grasping, continue needing, and remain a prisoner. Or step onto the path of self-mastery, let go of everything that weakens you, and become the kind of man that no one, not the world, not fate, not even death can break. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.